Increased food cost, increased energy costs, increased labor cost. If you don't measure it, you don't know. We need to choose 10 food and beverage operations. What an opportunity.
Welcome to BetterTable Shortcast by BetterTable.ca, a place where hospitality leaders can listen, learn, and profit faster. I'm your host, Ben Liéger, and we uncover topics around food, sustainability, and diversity with some of the brightest minds in the tourism and hotel industry. Thank you for joining me. I know you're busy, so we go straight to the point to bring you value during what I believe will be some of the most enriching minutes of your day. Today, we are meeting with an incredible leader in the industry, Ingrid Jarrett, the President and CEO of the BC Hotel Association. Get ready to be inspired as we explore her journey, expertise, and the fantastic work she has done to shape the hospitality landscape. So sit back, relax, and let's begin this exciting conversation with Ingrid's favorite food.
Oh, I have so many favorite foods. Fresh out of the garden, tomatoes, carrots, and kale. But I also love venison and crab.
I'm getting hungry now. Ingrid, could you tell us more about you and what motivated you to have a career in the hospitality industry?
You know, I happened upon the hospitality industry by accident as a young person, getting my first job as a dishwasher in a cafe in Kelowna when I was 14. But I then went to food and beverage and absolutely loved it. It was fun, it was hard work, it was lucrative. I met lots of people, and I'm very social by nature. I've been in this industry my whole working career in many different positions, large companies, small companies, and I've had my own company for many years as well.
You have such a fantastic experience. What would you say has changed the most since then in a food and beverage operation?
I spent several years in the kitchen as a prep cook, as a cook. 1 year, I had a chef who was not able to complete their contract, and I ended up spending 4 months in the kitchen. And the only way that I really was able to do that well was I learned to cook in the kitchen with my mom. When we think about our industry, hotels and restaurants 20 years ago or 30 years ago versus today, it's much more cosmopolitan. It's much more experiential when it comes to menus, when it comes to ethnicities coming together and having fusion foods. You know, I can remember being with Fairmont Hotels and there was a Asian fusion restaurant that opened in the late 80s, early 90s. And my goodness, it was the talk of the town, where now we have South American and Asian and Eastern European. And it doesn't matter where you come from. I think it is the terroir and where the food is grown that brings the flavor. And I think more and more, not only our universities, but teaching and chef bringing out the flavors that are very locally in origin. And I think that's very important. I can say that was not the landscape that I spent my time in food and beverage 20 or 30 years ago.
That's amazing. I didn't know you used to work as a cook. And now as a CEO of the BC Hotel Association, how do you measure success? What helps you understand you're supporting the industry and you're going in the right direction?
We represent every shape and size of accommodation in the province. There's estimated about 1,800. That means we need to really understand what's important to the owner, to the operator, and to the outcome of the contribution of that property. I think my time working in all departments within hotels affords me an understanding of what tools and resources that we can develop in partnership and with people like you that actually bring forward understanding, education, and tools that they can use to be more successful. In food and beverage, new ways of operating, menu engineering, procurement, addressing food waste, those are the big nuggets that if we can wrap our arms around and provide the support for industry to understand, I know that we're doing our job.
You started at the BC Hotel Association in February 2020, just before the pandemic hit. The hospitality industry has been the hardest hit sector and you've helped many hotels stay afloat. What was the most challenging during those times?
I'm very happy to say that we have the majority of our industry still intact and operating, but the burden of debt and the burden of losses will take many, many years to make up. We're seeing a very robust demand for British Columbia for many reasons. I think a lot of it is around the commitment to sustainability, to being good employers, to focusing on retention of people and really valuing the human component of our industry. That is where we've been able to come out of the pandemic, and I think that's a very positive thing.
At the BC Hotel Association Summit earlier this year, you mentioned additional challenges such as labor shortages and increased food costs. There are many challenges in a hotel. Right now, what's top of mind for a hotel general manager?
It's probably their budget and actually achieving their budget. They're seeing increased food cost, increased energy costs, certainly increased labor cost. And I think when we're looking at the food component, what really came forward, there is food insecurity. And that means we need to be much more diligent and responsible if we can really provide the solutions around procurement and making sure that we have access to what we need in quality items. That will make a big difference to the industry.
Last year, the BCHA worked with GreenStep and BetterTable.ca on a sustainability pilot project with the Salman Hotels in Kelowna to improve both energy efficiency and food efficiency. This has been very important to set up a baseline, as you can only manage what you measure. And 2 months ago, a motion was passed urging the BC government to track and report food waste. What would you say to hotel leaders related to measuring food waste?
It's all about making sure that you understand what's coming in. First of all, what are you ordering and why? So your menu engineering. But also, what are you ordering and why? And how does it actually connect with all of the different production components within a business? And then how are you mitigating that food waste? Many of us immediately go to the banquet kitchen and thinking, oh my gosh. But it's much more than that. It's every production kitchen. And I think that pilot project in the Okanagan really showed that both operate very differently and had very different results. And I think the more we can do that, people will have that aha moment where they think, I haven't even thought about that yet. How do I analyze my own operation? We have many trends coming in, and it's important that we don't get distracted by the shiny thing, which right now is AI, but more importantly is making sure that we are identifying our current operation with waste before we start thinking about something else that's going to solve this problem and increase profitability. I think profitability for the hotels is the single biggest issue, both for the general managers, for department heads, and for owners. And many things are out of their control: insurance, property tax, energy costs. Food waste is completely within the control of the operation. If you don't measure it, you don't know.
Sustainability is becoming increasingly important in the hospitality industry, and you've recently launched the BCHA Sustainability Playbook. Can you tell us more about it? How are you promoting sustainable practices among your members?
It started from our commitment to sustainability as one of our pillars. When I first took this position, I went, what is important to industry? What do we need to be doing? Industry said loud and clear, sustainability, we need to understand what we can do. We don't know where to start. Our partnership first was around energy. And that came to us with a partnership with Fortis BC. We launched it in the spring. And it is literally a toolkit for a hotel of any shape and size to go through and have access to all the information they need, where to start. We're seeing when we're recruiting people that value proposition and the culture and the commitment to sustainability, the environment, and a positive, respectful work culture is increasingly important. And food waste and energy waste and sustainability are all part of that. And we're seeing global demand through our partnership with Biosphere or the Global Hospitality Alliance. we're really seeing, and even when I think about when I'm traveling and I'm planning a trip later this year, when I'm looking at what I'm doing, those are things I'm checking because I personally care about them. And I know other people around the world do the same thing.
Ingrid, you're the first ever female leader to hold the position of President and CEO of the BC Hotel Association. How does that feel?
You know, it's funny. I've never really thought I'm a female in a position as a first. But, you know, it is significant because my industry has come a long, long way when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, when I was first director of operations or on the executive of large hotels, there was only 2 women and 80 men. But our contribution is equally as important. I am a complete, committed individual that we all have the right to have a voice. And we need to provide voice to those that currently don't have it and to support them growing into positions in their aspirations, whether that be women, whether that would be, underrepresented Canadians, Indigenous, people of color, LGBTQ2+. How do we first, as a board of directors and as an organization, take the lead as an example? So in November of 2020, we signed the 50-30 Challenge, which is a federal government equity challenge. And it means 50% women and 30% underrepresented Canadians on your board. I sat on the board of directors of the BC Hotel Association for 16 years. Out of those 16 years, 11 of them I was the only female. We originally had 32 people on the board. We now have 17. Within 18 months, we had met the 50-30 Challenge. And I am so proud. And it isn't really about me because I'm the CEO. It's about my board of directors. And at the same time, we've actually really broadened the thinking around youth, around new voices, about new thinking, not just about the hotel think. It has provided us the foundation of being a very innovative, open-minded, thoughtful, and progressive organization, which I am very proud to lead. My goal would be our hotel industry is reflective of the community in which it operates. So we're not there yet, but I'm very proud to be a leader in that space.
BetterTable.ca has just been selected by Vancity to provide 10 grants for 10 food and beverage operations in BC to boost profitability. How could this help the industry?
Ben, we're delighted to work with you on the food waste and the initiatives. You're an incredible partner, and we really, really value it. And thank you very much for providing the expertise and really digging in with us so that we can now move forward. If we have 10 operations that are able to work hand in hand with you, and I'm committed to working with you, this is really how we get the ball rolling. So first of all, Vancity as an organization is, they're really looking at the big picture. They've been seen for many years in their culture of commitment to sustainability, community, etc. We need to choose 10 food and beverage operations, and then we need to go through the whole audit process and actually train them. What an opportunity. Let's launch that and make sure that we're choosing operations that can then help us amplify what the opportunity is for profitability and really taking on food waste. It's a very, very important and exciting opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. I have been so inspired by Ingrid. The BC Hotel Association is doing an incredible job. I'm so excited for you to learn from other leaders, and I hope to see you next time. BetterTable Shortcast is brought to you by BetterTable.ca. We help hotels and restaurants control food costs and increase food and beverage profits. Thank you so much for listening. Want to boost your restaurant profitability? Apply for the Vancity grant today. If you want to apply, simply visit bettertable.ca/apply. That's better, B-E-T-T-E-R, table, T-A-B-L-E, bettertable.ca/apply. If you love the show, please leave us a review. We are so proud to bring you curated insights to help the tourism and hospitality industry thrive. The best compliment you can give us is by screenshotting today's show and tagging us on LinkedIn at bettertable.ca and at Ben Liege. We are obsessed with swags, so don't be surprised if we want to send you some. And remember, Nothing bad happens when hospitality leaders make more money.